So good morning, everyone. What a great, wonderful day this is to see you all. Really appreciative. I think for our welcoming this morning, I'm going to ask Ty to come to the stage, and he's going to just give a more informal welcome for everyone, and then go into messaging about some upcoming wonderful conferences. This is going to be an amazing, rich day. And I'm so happy to see all of you today. And just, you'll hear all the gratitude and everything else. But Ty's going to welcome us in and just chat a little bit about some upcoming wonderful opportunities for us to continue to build momentum as a community. This is going to change the whole world. Yeah. Ty.
Good morning. I actually didn't have anything prepared. But happy to remind everybody that the annual business meeting for CSL Worldwide is this next week on Wednesday and Thursday. So hope you can join. It's free to join, and it will be taped. But some of the presentations are taped, and some of the presentations are live. But the whole thing should be taped and available as well if you can't see it then. But there's also an opportunity for breakout sessions on Thursday, I believe it is, to provide some feedback about how to make us even stronger. I'm excited about this. I'll be sharing some exciting, what I think are exciting developments that I've been working on for the last couple months to help us as a home office reconnect to communities, which is, personally, I think is desperately needed. There's a lot I could share about that, but I won't go into that detail here. I also want to remind folks about Banff coming up. This is our annual, or I guess every other year, retreat. So it's not a business-oriented gathering, but there are workshops and wonderful speakers, and it's going to be a wonderful event in Canada. And maybe a good thing for us to support the Canadians. If they'll let us in. Or maybe we stay. But I have to say that tickets are limited and they are selling out. I think we've got 50. Did you sign up? Okay. So we have one less ticket available than yesterday. I think we've only got about 50 left. And it is, of course, a big trip. It's a day-long drive. It's a long drive. I know some of us are gathering what do you say? Carpooling, caravaning, not caravaning, caravaning. Yeah. So I know is John here? John, yeah, you're doing a trip. You might want to be connecting to people who are wanting to carpool up or caravan up. And I know Linda Webb-Khakaba has also got a group of people going. And so that will be fun, I'm sure, interesting. What else? That's it. Okay. Thank you. Hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Tyler. So just a reminder of kind of who we are, what we believe. We believe in this oneness of life. We believe in the power of creative thinking. We believe in being in love together as a force for good on this planet. We wave to all those at home. Give them all a wave if you can. Wave to everybody at home who couldn't be here. And I'm so glad you all could be here today. Afterwards, research, we have a little coffee time. We'll encourage you to come up front and do it up here a little bit. We have the wonderful music of Stephan Plummer and Pete Beresford on drums. We have Yangco on the clarinet. We have Steve, who's on platform, and Mona's holding high watch. All of our practitioners are available for prayer for you afterwards, so please go back and see them. They would love to pray with you and be with you all the way. In the booth today, we have Erik and we have Ronald. And downstairs, we have Caitlin and wonderful volunteers helping our kids. So we're grateful for all of that. So let's give a little round of applause for everybody who's volunteering. Oh, and for John back there, John, who's your cohort? And John and Susie welcome to you as greeters coming in, and they're wonderful. So we have lots of gratitude for them too. And there's lots of announcements about classes coming up, things that are happening. It's in your program, in the flyer. Please see them. We have special workshops and everything happening. And I'm just overwhelmed by all the beautiful, lovely faces I see in the crowd today. So I'm going to do a few gratitudes. They've been piling up since I've been gone. So they're a big stack. And I'll go through them right now. So let's all feel these gratitudes together. The ability to read and write. How often do we give gratitude for that? All right, this is it. You don't get any better than this, as remember Steve saying. And just colors. And we can see colors. Meeting a new friend at CSL Tacoma. The divine guidance to lead me with love and light. Sunshine and spring, feeling happier than I have felt in a long time. CSL Tacoma, so glad to have found this place. I'm grateful for my spiritual teachers, past, present, and future, my CSL practitioners who are helping me discover my path. Much love and gratitude. The body's ability to heal itself. Boy, am I aware of that one. Okay. Finally allowing myself to accept help from others. Amen that. Making good friends. My future job. My future partner. Don't know who that is yet. Feeling of community. The smell of coffee in the morning. The gorgeous black shining crow outside my window today. Practicing mindfulness. Everything works out for the best. Learning to accept and rejoice things as they are. The joyous expression of community. The ability to dip my French fry into a milkshake. The healing energy this place offers. Praying with the practitioners and the ministers. Seeing everyone positive and connected. For my son, who has been so helpful during this difficult time. Infinite chances to be healed. Being back at CSL, been gone for a few weeks. Support for my CSL community. Those who have and will find the courage to defend the freedoms we cherish. Seeing the brave, different parking above ground. Oh, the daffodils poking above ground. Growing, learning, and connecting. And the opportunity to serve and the challenges in my life teaching me everything I need to know. Beautiful. So let's have our wonderful first round of music from Stephan and Pete.
All these people that I know out here. I was thinking, I never go to Red Robin that much, but my friend was like, let's go to Red Robin. And when you said the French fry and the milkshake, yeah. And I was thinking, Red Robin has the little sprinkles on the milkshake. My milkshake didn't have sprinkles on it this time. Right? It's just how I felt, but that's okay. I'm here anyway. But really, it is about sprinkles, right? Right? Okay. I didn't think I was alone in that one. Oh, I've got a couple songs coming up. They're doozies. Hang on to your hat. So this is a Linda Webb-Khakaba song. Do we have the words or no? It's all of these things. God is light. God is life. God is joy. God is peace. God is love. Just sing it with me. God is light. I am light. God is life. I am life. God is joy. I am joy. God is peace. I am peace. God is love. I am love.
God is powerful, I am powerful. All of these things, God is, I am. All of these things, I am. God is light, I am light. God is life, I am life. God is joy, I am joy. God is peace, I am peace. God is love, I am love. God is beautiful, I am beautiful. God is powerful, I am powerful. All of these things, God is, I am. All of these things, you are. We are. We are.
Good morning. I'm going to take a privilege here just for a second. A couple weeks ago, I was up here, and I may have offended some people. And part of my practice is to, when I realize that I have done something wrong to hurt somebody, is I apologize to them. And I was joking around up here, and I said, I don't like rap music. And if I offended anyone, I want to make sure that you know that I don't mean that to be offensive. So, on to the next thing. Actually, I have 3 readings this morning. Drew said, you have your choice. I picked that one. He picked out the other 2, and I just decided I'm going to read all 3 of them. Quotes. Haruki Murakami, I'm not sure who he is, but what happens when people open their hearts? They get better. Ram Dass, healing does not mean going back to the way things were before, but rather allowing what is now to move us closer to God. And I can't be up here without mentioning Emerson. The wise man in the storm praised God, not for the safety from danger, but for deliverance from fear. It is the storm within which endangers us, not the storm without. Perils, calamities, and troubles are our friends, for they show us how little we are masters of ourselves and inspire humility, hope, and prayer. Breathe that in for a second. All of them. There's this thing that's really not a thing. It's all things. It surrounds us. It's in us. It heals us. It moves us. It breathes us. It is us. Like Stephan said, it is joy, it is peace, it is love, it is harmony, it is beauty. It is all these things, but it's not an it. We can't point to it, separate it from something else. It's not an it. It is all things. I call it God. Some people call it spirit. Whatever it is, it's right here and right now. Just breathe it in. It's the music, it's the lights, it's the chairs we're sitting on, it's the animals that are here. It is us. And I am so, so grateful to be a part of it. And I release that with happiness and joy and emotion. And so it is.
Hi, everybody. Hi, y'all. Y'all know where I'm from? I'm from the country. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if I can. No need for greed or hunger, a brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be one. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Come on. I know someday you will join us, yeah, and the world will be one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if I can. You know, you say that I'm a dreamer, but I know I'm not. I know there's peace and love and harmony. And it is not an imagination, Drew. It's not imagination. Come on. Now sing the chorus with me. You ready? All right. You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Play it, Pete. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world is gonna be one. It is one. We just gotta remember it's one.
right? Today is the day. We remember that.
Thank you. Woohoo! Well, here we are. Today is entitled Finally, the Whole Story on Healing. So I intended to give this talk about 3 weeks ago and got sick. Irony of ironies. Linda Rapon stepped in, Dr. Reverend Linda Rapon, and gave a wonderful talk. Last Sunday, I was supposed to give this talk, and as many of you probably know, we've been on a remarkable journey in the last week, since last Friday night before last, and I was supposed to give the talk again. Not yet, the universe said. So third time's a charm, okay? All right. So I'm here today to say there were more chapters, there was more to it. There needed to be something more for us all to latch onto together, because this story you're gonna hear isn't just about me and CJ and Max. It's about all of us. It's about all of you. It's about everything we're going through, interpersonally, and ultra-personally. That our world is facing these challenges. And I'm here to tell you right now, they're not bad for us. I had the revelation of revelations during this time, and I realized everything is for our greatest and highest good if we can open up and accept it. Healing may not so much be about getting better as about letting go of everything that isn't you, all the expectations, all the limiting beliefs, and becoming who you are. That's healing. All healing is first a healing of the heart. This is the place it begins for all of us on this journey. We heal our hearts, and then we see healing in everything else, our bodies, the world, everything else. We heal our hearts. And healing isn't meant to say that we're not all whole, perfect, and complete exactly as we are. It's about a recognition of that wholeness, of letting go of limiting beliefs, of letting go of fear and doubt, and becoming whole. Now, I see my wife CJ sitting right there, and I want to acknowledge her first and foremost as being incredible in this journey toward healing that we've experienced. And it was so phenomenal, and I'll tell you the details, but I just have to first offer her infinite gratitude for being my partner. And I'll say this again, but I feel the same about every one of you and everyone online and those who aren't even here today physically, because you gave us wings to fly through this. All of you. You gave us wings and made it possible. That is the pure power of our community. That is the pure possibility of our world, the potential to create healing no matter where we go. So we recognize that all those limiting beliefs, I just want to tell you a really quick story before I get into this one. This came from something I saw from a hospital, and it was called The Worst MRI I Had Ever Seen. This is from a nurse. And this is what she wrote about it, kind of retrospectively. A few months later, one of my buddies ran into the guy that had the worst MRI on the elevator. He was in a wheelchair and actually talking. My friend had no idea how to react and just started bawling and apologizing and telling the family he was so sorry for ever claiming a belief that he had no chance to recover. And he just fell to his knees and said, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And the guy in the wheelchair just said, it's all right. I'm going to get better. She said, I still have trouble comprehending how that happened. I'll tell you how it happened. It happened because we're all source, because we all know what we can do, because we all believe in what we are, because we love one another. That is the power of healing. In 100 years, they'll say, wow, can you actually believe back in 2025 They really thought they were disconnected from everything. Can you believe that? Can you believe they didn't understand the healing power of thought and the creative power of thinking and the power of love? They'll just laugh at us. Kind of, we look back at the flat earthers. I'm sorry if any of you are flat earthers. I don't mean to offend you. Apologize for that. But, all right, come on. All right. They'll look back on that and just laugh and laugh and laugh because they'll know the truth of how interconnected we are. And that's the truth that we're realizing now, despite any doubts and fears. Okay. So, a week ago Friday, CJ and I were out for a little date night meal, a rare treat, because Max had gone to an evening ski session with a ski club and some of his buddies from school, night skiing on at Snoqualmie. We had a fabulous meal. Both of us recounted that it was one of the best hamburgers we'd ever eaten. Yes, I'm not totally a vegetarian, all right? I'll do my best, but on that rare occasion, for local grass-fed beef, I gave an exception and had a hamburger. So we're driving home, and suddenly we get a phone call from Max. And he says, yeah, he goes, I think I cut my arm a little. And suddenly, an EMT in the ambulance grabs the phone and says, he didn't cut his arm. A snowboard cut through his tricep muscle and totally severed it down to the bone, opening up a wound that big. And he lost a lot of blood. Come to the emergency room right now. We're treating for shock and blood loss. So CJ and I are like, head spinning, what are we gonna do? We get in the car, I start driving fast. We have a really good conversation about drive fast enough to get there, but not so fast that we die in an accident, right? So she was the point of reason there a little bit, because I was gonna go 100. She said, don't do that, let's just do 75. So I listen to reason. My wife is intuitively very wise, and I pay attention. So we get to the hospital, and the emergency doctor there says, this is way beyond my capacity to stitch up. He's going to need reconstructive surgery on his arm. So we're just trying to get our heads around this. What does it look like? And whole time, Max is so polite and kind to everyone, not thinking about himself, just saying, thank you so much for caring for me. I appreciate you so much. I'm thinking, okay, there's something right in the world when a human being is 15, can get out of his own way and be in community with other people in a time of distress. Which makes what happens next even harder. Because we race over to Harborview Medical, the #1 level trauma 1 unit in the Northwest, which is a blessing, we'll hear. We get there, and we go into the emergency room, and it's crowded, and there's wildness, and Max is just trying to take it all in, and they're so kind, and they take us back. And to a person, all the doctors and nurses all night long are like, this is the best patient I've ever had. This kid is wonderful, and I'm just gonna brag on him for a second for that. So we get to the doctor, and all night long, it's surgeon, surgeon, surgeon. I mean, we must have seen 6 surgeons come in and poking around. And he's trying to, be like, ugh, poke him. Gotta do surgery in the morning. And the morning comes. We're exhausted, but we're finally gonna get him into surgery. Yay. We go into surgery, we sit down, we start to breathe for a minute, and all of a sudden, about 45 minutes in, the surgeon comes out. And he comes out, and he sits down, gesturing us to do the same. And we're like, what's going on? And he says, we couldn't complete the surgery. And we said, why not? He said, because your son went into anaphylactic shock on the table from the anesthesia. And it's been touch and go to save his life. So. Now, if you've ever been hit by a ton of bricks or news that brought you to your knees, this was the moment. I don't ever recall feeling in that any moment in my entire existence more sense of helplessness, desperation, and utter terror. We're just trying to now put our heads around what's going to happen. The doctor says, we've got to try to stabilize him. And he leaves. So there we are, looking at each other, wondering if this good kid is going to make it. That's 2 hours of sitting with it. And there's a lesson in that too. I'm going to come back and do some highlights after the story. Well, they come back. We moved him to ICU. He's not breathing on his own. He's on a tube, he's intubated, and he's hooked up. It's going to be a little striking when you see him. Now, I've seen this before in hospitals all the time, so I thought I was prepared. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for seeing this kid being breathed for like he's at end of life. And then CJ and I just gather our strength. And I send out a message to you all. And I say, I need prayer. And Ty did beautifully to forward that message because I had no wherewithal of how to send it. And we enacted a powerful chain of authentic, deep, real prayer for us. And we felt it. And you know what? Max felt it too. Because they were looking at us and saying, we don't know. He's probably going to be like this for days to recover. And all of a sudden, he starts to breathe on his own a little bit. And all of a sudden, he's trying to wake up and pull out the tube. And the doctors are excited by this. And all of a sudden, he starts to come around a little bit. And they check, and they do all the tests, and they pull the medications, and they pull back, and suddenly, he's breathing. He's breathing. In 5 hours, this kid's breathing. And he astounded them by doing that. That's prayer. He's breathing. I've never felt better in my entire life. He's breathing. He opens his eyes. He says, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Best words I've ever heard. Max loves food. He loves to eat a good burger and have a good time and enjoy healthy food, and he loves it. And we got him food. He's trying to wake up. Even though he's been through this, he's still pleasant, a little bit grumpy, but still pleasant. We go through the night. Surgeon comes in and says, we need to do the operation. Otherwise, he can't. He's not going to be able to ever push on the arm. It won't recover. We're going to try again. Now, CJ and I are really managing this anticipation, right? But again, coming back to prayer, coming back to one another, coming back to the love of the community. Sunday morning, we get up. We got a surgery spot for him. He goes into surgery. We're waiting. We get a text. He's under anesthesia, no complications. We're positioning for surgery, no complications. He's under safely, no complications. A couple hours go by, we're stitching him up, no complications. Surgery was a success. Now, CJ was just like sitting here like, whoa. Now, you know me, I got up in the waiting room of the surgery and I was like, yes, yes, yes. Because I had to release this energy that was there, because I have never, again, felt happier. He comes out of it, he's groggy. It's one of those hilarious videos that you've seen where people are like waking up from tooth surgery and they're saying ridiculous. He's like, wow, I told him I was going to be a pilot. What's for lunch? How long was I under? I love you guys. We're like, we love you too, man. And he wakes up and he eats and he heals and he's stronger than ever. And it was amazing. Spent the night in the hospital one more night and went home that Monday. So why do I share this story? First of all, because I believe in the power of vulnerability and us getting real. Get real with where we are, no matter what it is. And don't be afraid to share it, because I'm not, and CJ's here, and everything's wonderful. But there were some really profound lessons that I want us all to take away from this, aside from the outcome and the amazing journey and the prayer. And that's going to be filtered into it. The first one is, first of all, feel it all, because you can't hide from it. So you might as well feel it all. Your pain will set you free. Isn't that a miracle? I know Erik talked a few weeks ago about suffering and how it's inevitable, but it means that we have to just face it and be one with it and embrace it, because it will set us free. You know, a quick side story, there was a general in the army. He had this terrible body rash. It was eating him up. It was causing immense pain, and he couldn't get rid of it. He tried all kind of medications and treatments, and during his process, he saw a therapist that had come in and said, "Is there anything going on in your life?" And he said, "Well, about 6 months ago, my wife died." And she said, "Okay, do you want to tell me about that?" And suddenly he started to feel it completely and grieve it completely and go through it completely. And within 24 hours, his rash disappeared. Right. So feel it all. CJ and I felt it all. And we reached out to talk to people. I must have called, a dozen of you at different times and connected with you and shared the process and what we were going through, and friends and family, and shared it with them and felt it all. So feeling it all, to say we were scared is an understatement, but that was not the end. That was the beginning of an invitation. So what you're going through, whatever it is an invitation for you to walk through it. Through that cloud of fear, through that cloud of anxiety, lies a wholeness and a healing that is beyond your imagination. That is a stone cold reality. Believe it. The next one is be vulnerable about that. Get real. Claim your power. Grow. Become love. This invitation is to understand that you can just be real about it with everyone. You don't have to hide and be stoic and be. In fact, being that way creates a weakness in you. Defensiveness means you're shrinking, pulling back, as if there's something to lose. There's nothing to lose. Open up. Be who you are. Be vulnerable. Because in that is power, strength, wisdom, the ability to manage everything and love yourself through it all. Ask for what you need. There were 3 instances where we asked for what we needed. The first was when he went into surgery the second time, I demanded, in a very kind way, me, demanded that they text us every 5 minutes, because I wasn't going to sit there in a room for 2 hours and watching his name on a board and hopefully it turned to green eventually. No, that wasn't going to happen. That nurse was so kind, and she texted us every 5 minutes. Ask for what you need. CJ, who was so strong and so wonderful, in a moment, right after it happened, she just looked at me and said, "You have got to be strong right now because I can't." That was so real and beautiful for her to say, because then I stepped up and was able to work through and ask questions. And then later it reversed, where I felt, I was like, whoa. She's like, I got you, Drew. We're right here. And I also learned that at one point, it was 1 a.m. on the night before his second surgery, and CJ luckily had found a sofa to crash on. Max was dead asleep, which the kid never has problems sleeping. He slept clean through the night, which is beautiful. I couldn't, and it's 1 a.m, and I am just like, I can feel the anxiety and the tension, and I have faith and I believe, but I'm still having feelings that they're not mutually exclusive. Just because you have faith and belief doesn't mean you're not going to feel. I went to this nurse, and I'll tell you right now that he had his hair pulled up in a bun and had a beard. When I looked at his badge, he looked like Jesus. I mean, it was so weird. I was like, is this Jesus? Well, this nurse, I said, I think I got to talk to someone. Can you see if there's a counselor on duty or a chaplain or anyone else? And he says, probably not now. He says, but you can talk to me if you want. And I said, would you mind? He goes, no, let's just sit down here for a while. And I sat down with Jesus, AKA Mike. And I talked to him for 20 minutes. And I let all that out of my body and sobbed. And this beautiful human being put his hand on my shoulder and said, I'm right here with you. We got you. I'm right here. And the power of that moment to feel and see that he could be with me and love me and care for me through that moment was unbelievable. Unbelievable. So ask for what you need. Ask for your unmet needs to be met, because that is one of the most powerful things you can possibly do, right? So the other thing is, this is going to be an obvious statement, but let's just say it. Prayer works. Prayer works. Because it's not wishing for or hoping for, it's knowing in the interconnected nature that which is supposed to come about. So for you all to be there for us in that moment was unbelievable. And all we can say is, wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. And we can do that for ourselves and anyone else at any time because it don't cost nothing. But it's priceless. The other part is see the gifts. Ask, what is this disease, condition, challenge teaching me? Acceptance is not acquiescence, but rather the power to face what is happening with pure courage. In the Bible, it says, fear not. Those words 365 times. That's one per day. Fear not, because there's nothing to fear. The other thing is to understand that the reason this is nothing wrong is because this all had to happen for Max's deepening, for our awareness to happen. And you want to know what else? That common paralytic anesthetic called rocuronium is used all the time in ambulances, at small hospitals. And if Max had not been in a level 1 trauma unit, there's a very high probability that he would have passed away. Because they were so good at what they did, it was the universe's way of saving his life. By giving him an injury that he can fully recover from, but also one that needed to have some sort of anesthetic that he now will be careful about in his life. Because you can imagine, he's 40, he goes in the hospital, in a not as good a trauma unit, he has kids, and he dies. That would have been infinitely worse than even us losing him. So can you see how the events are here to help you if you just embrace and accept them? This is the oneness of life. There are no mistakes. There's no accidents. There's healing going on here this morning with people reconnecting and understanding their wholeness. That's what we all can do. I'm going to just talk briefly about Leslie for a second because she told me the most wonderful story. Did you know her knees were bothering her? And I got her permission to do this, by the way, so it's okay. Her knees were bothering her. She said she couldn't get up and down the stairs. And she saw a therapeutic healing person, and that person had her connect with something that might have been in her body. And she unearthed something she hadn't seen before. It was anger with her father for a feeling of being abandoned as a military child and then him dying on her at an earlier age. And she processed that anger. And she came through to understand that it was not anyone's fault, but she had to feel a feeling. And guess what? She has no knee pain. She can walk up and down the stairs freely. In fact, we had a jumping jack competition and she beat me. So the quote from Eberrsole is, nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. Nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. My brain tumor was a teacher, not an enemy. The environment we're in geopolitically is not an enemy, it's a teacher. It's teaching us to rise up in strength and stand for what we believe in and become better than we ever were and realize our own power to create the world. We're not just victims and recipients, we are powerful co-creators. So these lessons apply to us in personal healing and they apply to you all in your healing as well. So trust, 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 trust in the oneness of life. Trust in what's happening. Trust in what's unfolding. Step through it fearlessly. The other part is the absolute fragility of life. It's precious. Monday night after we got home, we're sitting on the sofa. And we're just sitting there for a second. And we're watching a show called The Good Place. Have you ever seen The Good Place? Yes. Wonderful, hilarious, beautiful show. Max loves it. And we're sitting there. And I just reach out, his left side's to me, take his left hand, and I take CJ's hand, and I just absolutely bawl with a sense of gratitude that we're here, that we made it to the good place. The other part is that we're in this together. You're not alone. You're never alone. You're held by love all the time, and that's a fact. Believe that fact. Become that fact. Never alone, always united in love. You know, we talked about Pete's wife, Andrea, going through some really difficult challenges right now. Let's keep surrounding her with love, and Pete, because he needs it, and they need it. This is the healing nature of our community. We're never alone. We're always connected, and we love her. We love you, Andrea, if you're seeing this. We love you, Pete. And for all those things that I don't even know about that each of you are facing, surround it with love, surround it with openness and togetherness. A realization that Max had is that at one point in the night, he was sitting there, he'd been pretty cool and pretty amazing. And he just sat there, and CJ started to sing a little song to him, and he just started to sob. And we said, "What's up?" And he says, "These are tears of gratitude." He goes, "Because I'm surrounded by so much love." For a 15-year-old boy to see how fortunate he is to be surrounded by love makes the entire thing worth it. We all just hugged on that table, that bed, and we just held each other. I keep looking at my wife because I can't believe we were an amazing team in this. We just constantly worked and talked and communicated, and that's the togetherness. But to hear Max say, how lucky am I to have this much love in my life? So this is all about psychoneuroimmunology, guys. That's a fancy word for saying our brain, our body, and our soul are all interconnected. It's one thing, and we're connected to everyone else's. So this is going to be a call for this morning to open up into that oneness and to be fearless and to love completely, because in that boldness is brilliance. Your brilliance. The brilliance of your soul as a star. Don't doubt it. Believe it. This is true for us personally and in our environment. We have to know we're wrong with everything. We got to find a way to work with everything that's going on. We got to find a way to stand up for what we want. We got to find a way to be whole, not to fight against as if it's other. It's not other, it's us. What needs to be healed within our hearts? What needs to be healed within our world? What can we stand up and say? It doesn't mean acquiescing, falling back at all. It means a strength of a powerful, nonviolent presence and resistance to say, no, we have to move toward love. And all of it is moving us in a weird way toward love. We stand, we believe in what we believe. We're stalwarts. We're fierce for this love. Be fierce for the power of love and healing, protecting those who need it. That's what we'll talk about more in the coming weeks, what we can all do with that together. But I decided to put that in there, that they're not separate. It's all one, okay? Each of us has a unique part to play in the healing of the world. Marianne Williamson. Each of us has a unique part to play in the healing of the world. So you're going to rise up to these challenges, right? You're going to see your wholeness as a gift. You're going to take this story of Maxwell and understand that it's for the best and highest good. And have a little extra surprise today. Max is here and he's downstairs working with the children. I can't believe it. I asked him if he wanted to come up, but he's not like his dad that way. He's like, nah, I'm going to go downstairs and hang out with the kids. So you maybe see him later today. He got back, and Thursday he went back to school. He snowboarded down the mountain after he lost a quart of blood and got himself down there. He's only taken in this entire process 4 Tylenol. He said he'd rather be aware than under some kind of pain medication that made him feel loopy. And he's endured it. He's strong. He's been strong for us. He's had moments where he's been scared, but he's reached out. He's asked questions, what's going to happen? We surrounded him with that love. He went and took his driver's test for his learner's permit on Thursday. Because he didn't want to wait to get his license 6 months after, like from June. He wants it now. And passed and did great. He went out with friends Friday night. He's been showing up every day. It's beyond me. But that's the community. That's the prayer. That's the basis of it. And you all have access to that every single day. So what I really want to say in conclusion is thank you. CJ and I offer you so much thanks and gratitude for what you've done, who you are, how you've been with us through this journey. And use that as an invitation to remember that we can be with that with everybody on a journey. Whatever we're feeling, wherever we go, we have each other, we have ourselves connected to love, and we have the oneness of the world. To heal is to touch with love that which was previously touched by fear. Stephen Levine. To heal is to touch with love that which was previously touched by fear. I want you to take a second and just high five or handshake or wave to your neighbors and say, we are in this together, and let's feel the oneness. Take a moment and do that, okay?
Apparently it's daylight savings time.
We got here in different time. Okay, ready to take a deep breath in. That is the ultimate reality. Everything else pales by comparison. What you are becoming, who you are becoming, the courage, the strength, the tenacity, the release, the ease, the acceptance, the knowing it's going to be full of feelings, the knowing that that's the invitation to become who you are, the belief, the faith in one another that we will always rise. You are a shining star that's rising. Never forget that. And we don't have enough words of gratitude to tell you what you've done for our family. Let's turn that into what we're going to do for each other, ourselves, and the world. So no matter what you're going through, you're never alone. We're here for you. We're all in this love together. And the outcomes may be different because they're all about best and highest good, but here's what really matters, that you care deeply, that you love completely, and that you help our world reconnect to the one source of love. Be the love, become the love, share the love, celebrate in eternity as love itself. All of you, as Darlene would say. So I just have nothing but gratitude in my heart. This is how we make a world that's thriving in harmony. And again, for my son Max and CJ who are here, and for all of you, we say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And give Max a big hug when you see him. He needs it. He'll be like, oh, shucks, but.
Me and Drew go back a ways. We do. He is one of the kindest people that I have ever known in my life. And can you imagine having Drew and CJ as parents? Yeah. Give me a minute. I'm looking for my song that I wrote. Actually, I wrote a song with Jeanette Alexander. How many people know Jeanette Alexander? Yeah. So we wrote this when she was living here. She's in San Diego now. And I went over there one night, and she's like, oh, I have this idea for a song. That's what she would do, because she's a instrumental pianist, you know. And she brings me these little snippets of words. And then I just, you know, with help of Spirit, and we just put it together. And we've always worked that way together, and it's been fabulous. So much fun. And it was a Bible verse, and she's like, what do you think of this Bible verse? I want it for a song. And I said, well, let's just make it a simple, fun song. So this is called When You Pray. Yeah. Perfect timing, right? When you pray, when you pray, when you pray, God hears you. When you pray, God hears you. Keep on asking, and you will be given. When you pray, God hears you. When you pray, God hears you. Keep on looking and you will find. Keep on knocking, the door will be open. For everyone who asks, receives. When you pray, God hears you. When you pray, God listens. Everyone who seeks shall find, and the door will be open. This is the secret to peace of mind. God knows before you ask. All the questions in your mind, all the answers you will find. For everyone who asks, receives. When you pray, God hears you. When you pray, God loves you. When you pray, God listens. When we pray, God's with us. When we pray, God loves us. When we pray, God listens. When we pray, God is us. Thank you.
Okay. If we could have our greeters come forward. We're going to recognize the flow of oneness as we offer generously our gifts. And so we're going to say our blessing together and take your gift in your hand. And as you, we listen to Benny's musical song, as the plate passes by, you bless it. Bless it and offer into it your love and conviction so that it carries forward into our world. So here we go. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. With infinite gratitude, so it is. Earlier, I forgot to mention Linda Smith for doing coffee, so thank you graciously for that. Appreciate it. Take a deep breath in. I know that what we're doing is circulating abundance of love and sources and resources for everyone so that we can make our world whole and healthy all the way. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
The only thing I can think of right now is there's a healing going on. I'm from the South, and I hear that all the time in my head. It's a fact. It's not a process. It's a fact. We are whole right here and right now. And another word for wholeness and healing is love. And I can feel it in this room more than I've ever felt it before. Breathe that in take it home and pass it on. This is it. It don't get any better than this. So it is.
Pete and I decided to do a little twist on this song, the little closing, but, you know, got to have a little fun, right? Pete's like, I love playing music with you. You have so much fun. There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it for myself. I didn't know that the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know that the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it one more day, one more day, all you gotta do is turn it over to God. Turn it over to God, and this is what you got to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
So go out and live your whole story for healing today. Let's make the world one powerful force for love. Go for it.